Hey guys, today on the live stream, we are gonna do some fishing right after we take care of the pigs. So you guys can join me while we bring some water and some food out to our little piggies, and then let's do some fishing. So we're just heading down to the lake right now. We'll drop off our fishing rod and drop off our tackle box, and then we'll come back up and yeah, we'll take care of the pigs quick. I hope everyone's having a good night. Hope everyone had a good day. Hi, goats. Goats are back over there. How you doing, Lily? Goats are in the background. We're into a little bit of fishing tonight. Been working lots of late hours lately, and so I just need a little bit of a break. So after we take care of the pigs, instead of doing any projects, we're just gonna hang out. We're gonna chat. And yes, I appreciate you joining. Thank you. I'm gonna get ourselves set up down here by the water quick. So did you have a good day? We're now onto the pontoon, onto the dock. There's a bit of a storm today, so everything's a little bit slippery. Okay, let's set the fishing rod down. I think we're just gonna fish from the dock. I don't think we're going to, that way I can focus on the chat. I don't think we're gonna go on a boat ride. I did go to the gym after work. So yeah, that's why it's a little bit later tonight. Just hard to fit everything into a day. Let's extend you guys so I can put you down. Grab some hog's feed. Hey, piggies. We got a little piggy right there. Must have heard us coming. We had a bit of a storm today, so I'll make sure that I get any of the wet stuff off of here, so none of it goes bad. There you guys go. Oh. We'll start with this. We'll give the pigs some of this. I didn't keep the turtles, so I found some turtles on the beach. I've got some videos. I'll have to. Here they come. Come on, piggies. Let's get you guys set up right about here. I'll give you some food right here, guys. Oh boy. Oh, I caught you guys. I'll flip you guys around so you can see the pigs. And Sticky says, I watched all your shorts. Well, thank you. Like I said, I took some good videos of some turtles, some baby turtles, mama turtles. They're hatching right now on our beach. And so it's really cool. Hi, Georgia, how you doing? Just taking care of the pigs here quick. Now, piggy, I wanna move your water. I'll put your water over here. Oh, I know, guys, it's empty right now. I'm gonna go get some. Pickles, I have learned that whenever someone tells me to say something and it doesn't make sense, y'all be trolling. So we ain't gonna get caught in that troll. We're not gonna listen to that. The pigs are getting big. The biggest one there's one bigger than the rest. He's probably about 120 pounds. The others are about 100. So in, I don't know, 2 months, a month and a half, they've gained 60, 70 pounds. They're getting big. Sweet home Alabama. How you doing, friend? And Charles says hi. Hi, Charles. How you doing? We're going to be doing some fishing here at the lake, but first we're taking care of the pigs. Oh, fell in the lake, but it's a good thing I got the rubber boots on. Oh. So yeah, we're just hanging out, chatting with you guys. do a little bit of the animal chores here, then we'll do some fishing. The bugs are starting to come out, so we'll see how long we last before they carry us away. We are up here in northern Canada doing our thing. If you guys have any questions, concerns, you want to see something specifically, let me know. Otherwise, let's get this water over to the pigs. Hey pigs. Let's flip you guys around so you can see what we're doing. Hey guys, I got some water for you. This way. Okay. Wait for me to put the water down. Oh, we're gonna have to do a second bucket there. I will be. I'll let them enjoy their water. I'll let them do their thing, and then we'll head down to the lake here. They're now drinking. I'll bring the pail with me because when I come back up, I'll give them another bucket of water. They're now drinking so much water. What I'm doing is I'm going to take a plastic barrel, a 205-liter barrel, and I'm going to put some spigots on it and teach them how to drink out of that. So I can do 200 liters at a time instead of 20. Then instead of filling the water 10 times a day, I can do it once a day. Oh, we're gonna get ourselves set up here and do some fishing now. Eric Griffin, welcome back to the chat. How you doing? And Marco says hi. We're just doing a little bit of animal chores, and now we're gonna do some fishing. Get ourselves set up over here. I know my son got a rapala tangled up here, so let's take this out of the net just in case we need the net, and then we will do some fishing. This isn't tangled too bad, but it's hard to undo it if you're a kid. Hard to undo it if you're an adult, especially when you get really tangled in here. Who was the first in the live? That was you, Sticky. You were here ready to go. Let me just finish untangling this quick, and then we're gonna do some fishing here. If you guys have any questions or anything, let me know. Let me know. I don't know if I have too many updates. The ducks are getting really big, the baby ducks. We did buy some more duck eggs. Shona says, what time is it? We are 8:30 p.m. 8:30 at night, but we're in the far north in Canada. So if you're wondering why is it so bright out, it's because the sun sets a lot later up here. Just trying to untangle my son's lure here so we can use this net if we need it. My son caught a massive 36-inch pike out of this the other week off the dock. How you doing, Old Glory? How's the dog doing? Everyone doing well? Come on. So one problem with rapalas and nets. This is awful, trying to get this undone. And my son definitely managed to get it in there good. I almost want to sacrifice the treble hook and leave it in there. But we're not gonna do that. We'll get her. Little by little, thread by thread. What we almost have to do is just start fishing and ignore this mess and just eat the fish out if we get one. But we're making progress. Anyway, this is the worst part about using rapalas. Lily's doing good. She was just basking on top of the picnic table, just lying on there like a little princess. Just resting in the sun, enjoying it. getting a little bit of space away from the goats and other animals, just hanging out on her own, just chilling. She's been doing a good job keeping the foxes away. We have a whole bunch of chickens, but she's been on guard duty overnight and she's been doing a good job of that. Okay, this is a nightmare right now. I think we're gonna set that down. I'll deal with this later. Try not to retangle it. We're close, but I think I'd apply it. Let's just get started. Let's get some fishing started. I want to pay attention to the chat. I don't need to pay attention to that. Okay, let me just get this first cast out here and then I'll catch up with you guys. There we go. Okay, sorry. Old Glory says, good, thank you for asking. The neighbor's dog is a different story. Let it out and it's coming up missing. We've been looking for it for miles. Ah, that's no good. That's no good. Is it still a puppy, or normally an old trained dog knows how to come back? And Jersey saying, yes sir. Sticky saying, what's your job? I run a logistics company. Shipping, track, you know, inventory, selling, that kind of stuff. And OG Hunnids says, must be nice. Eric says, piggies. Yeah, we were giving them some water and some food there just before this. Seymour, no sir, I have a wife and 5 children. Jace, how you doing, Jace? If you guys have any questions, make sure to ask and I will answer. Let me see what I missed. Georgia says Saturday it's going to be light out past 11 p.m. It is my favorite day of the year, the longest day of the year. And Eric says I'm in New Jersey. Kreetsky says, yo, what's happening? And Jace says he's doing good. We're just out here doing some evening fishing. I live off grid here, 156 acres, peninsula on the water. I've got all the farm animals, but they're we started with doing a little bit of the chores, but the animals are all good there. How are the kids? They're good. They're all sleeping right now. So they're all having a snooze. So figure take advantage of the evening, come hang out with you guys, and yeah, do some fishing. See if we can catch anything here. About 2 weeks ago, my son caught a 36-inch northern pike, a big fat pike, right off the dock, right here. Yeah, just a beautiful day. There's some rain earlier, so the air feels fresh. It's not too hot, but it's nice, it's enjoyable. The bugs are gonna come out soon, which is gonna be a little annoying, but it is what it is. Pandan says, what's your target species? Trout. In this lake, it's walleye, crappie, smallmouth bass, perch, northern pike, and muskellunge. No trout in this lake. But walleye are really good eating. Pike, when you know how to clean them, they're really good eating. I mean, it's all good eating. I like it all. This is northern Canada. We are in the far north in Canada. We've got beautiful view, beautiful skies right now. Just a beautiful day out here today. Goats are baaing away in the background. Yeah, it's just lovely out here. And Sticky says, isn't your name Justin or Jace? I think it's Justin. My name is Justin. Justin, you got it there. Named after the Biebs, Justin Bieber. And Pandan says, cordial salutations from Australia. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. Hope you're having a good day. What time is it in Australia right now? And Jay says, Canada is very beautiful. It is. It's lovely. It's really hard to complain. And Jace says, just Jace. Hoping we can catch you guys some big lunkers out here for tonight. But I'm focused on the chat. So if you guys want to talk, I'm here to answer. I'm here to talk. I'm here to chat. Anything you guys want to talk about, we can talk. Frank says, hello there, Mr. Fisherman, all the way from the UK. Well, hello. from Northern Canada. And Sticky says, my uncle is named Justin. It is, for my generation, my age range, it's a very popular name. Doesn't have any meaning, but it's popular. Yeah, it's a lovely night. He is 32, I am 33. So like I said, our age, that's the name. A lot of Justins. Georgia says, my nephew's name is Justin. It is popular. It is popular indeed. Jay says, I remember when I was really little, I caught a huge bass and I was like 4. My son, who is now 8, when he was 6, he caught like a 41-inch muskellunge, bigger than any I've caught. A muskellunge is like a northern pike, but they get massive. They get super big. It's not unheard of to catch like a 6-foot muskellunge. They're a monster of a fish. Sticky says, can we see the ducks? We can see the ducks later. I already did their chores, so I don't need to go back to them, but I'll check them out later. Right now, I want to hang out by the lake. They're way up in the fields. It's a bit of a journey to go there. We'll do some fishing, we'll enjoy some chatting, and then later we can go check out the ducks. We also have the 29 chickens hanging out in the coop right now. This weekend's plan is to build a couple chicken tractors, because the ducks are almost ready to move into their house, and I got to get the chickens out of the house to put the ducks in. And then I'm going to build a separate chicken coop. I'm going to build it right beside where the duck house is. So for those who don't know, I built a log cabin for my ducks. You can't quite see it here. It's over right there. Just see the roof line. But I ended up getting a bunch of chickens unexpectedly, and so I put the chickens in the duck house for now. But I got to build them their own space. So someone on Facebook was giving away one for free, but it's massive and it needs to be disassembled. It wasn't like portable or anything. And I've been down that road before. It's almost more work than it's worth to try to tear one down. When's the last time you caught something? Well, we just kind of started. We're 15 minutes into the stream. I haven't caught anything tonight yet. I don't know, I've been fishing lots, so you kind of catch something every night, but we've only been fishing for about 10 minutes, so we haven't caught anything yet. We'll see how it goes. Sticky, I was texting my uncle. It's his birthday. He's 33 today. I see him tomorrow, so I have to hurry and make a gift. Nice. Hey, Ernie, how you doing? What are you fishing for? Ideally walleye or pike. Walleye or pike. Northern pike, also known as jackfish. But walleye are really quick and easy to clean, so they're a nice quick meal. That's kind of my target fish right now. So we'll see what happens. My son caught a massive 36-inch pike the other day. Just massive. The head on that thing was like this big round. So we'll see if we can take some of his luck here. See what we can catch. The weeds are starting to come in, so it's a little bit trickier. You got to fish a little bit quicker to keep it off the bottom. My whole bay here is full of wild rice. And so it's fascinating for duck hunting season because the whole bay is wild rice, harvestable rice. And so come the late fall, the ducks all migrate through here, and they make this kind of their stop so that they can get a good snack before they carry on migrating south. And so during that hunting season, there can be thousands of ducks in the bay. It's really cool. And what province are you fishing in? Ontario. Not just saying your name, that's just where I am. And Ernie says the best fish is pike. I like it. There's tons of meat on them. They one good sized pike is equivalent to 4 of, bass or walleye. Like they're just so good eating when you know how to clean them. And Sticky says my dad is watching the live too. Well, hello to Sticky's dad. And Paul says, good evening. Do you pickle any of your northern? I don't, usually just because I've got 5 sons. I have 5 boys, and so we eat the dang stuff so fast. Um, I'm not opposed to it. I have done canning for sucker fish. I have canned sucker fish, but I eat the walleye and the pike so fast that there's never anything for the freezer or the cupboards. Do you harvest the rice? I haven't yet. There's some weird rules up here in northern Canada where you're really not supposed to, because it's kind of reserved for the First Nations people. But like, it's right here. This is all wild, going to be wild rice behind me. So I want to. I just haven't yet. It's also a lot of work. You need to kind of double. How would you say it? Like you harvest the rice, which is easy. You can hop in your canoe. I got my canoe back here. Right there. You hop in your canoe and then you just use your paddle, and as you canoe through it, just bang it off. You line your canoe with a tarp, and then all the rice falls into the tarp. But then for wild rice, what a lot of people do is they'll fill like a metal drum, and then you gotta roast it. You need to roast it to get it to open up, and then the rice comes out. And so you'll fill a metal drum and rotate it over a fire. So yeah, the actual getting it's not hard, but the processing it's time and effort. I'd like to do it. I'd like to learn it. I'd like to do it, but I have not yet. Is that your backyard? Yes, I have. All of this is mine. I've got 156 acres here. It's a peninsula, goes all the way around. I have about 30 acres of farm field, 126 or so of forest, and then of course the lake. The south side of my property is a beach, and I went down there earlier today with my sons. I took them down there, and the turtles are hatching right now. So I got a cool couple videos of some mama turtles and some baby turtles hatching out of their eggs. I am in the far north, like up by towards Hudson's Bay, like way up there. I live off grid, lots of acreage, middle of nowhere. And Sticky Heel says, hello, I'm Lily's dad. She told me a lot of good stuff about you. She said that she watches all the live streams. God bless you, and I am watching you from my TV. God bless, good night. She can stay on though. Well, I appreciate that. Thank you. I hope you're having a good evening yourself. And Roger says, you're fortunate. Yes, it is heaven up here. Dennis Eccles says, man, you are living the good, so good. I love it. One day I'm gonna go live off-grid as well. Oh, we just missed a bite. I'm gonna try to reel in a little slower and see if it comes up, but the fish missed. We're a little tangled up here, but we missed a surface splash up there. Let's just reset that and try again. We're in northern Canada. We're in the far north up here in Canada. Bear with me. Tangled up the end when I did that. So that's a good sign. That was the first miss. So there are fish in here right now. They're coming out as the sun sets. And Ontario Hashish says, I miss Ontario. These BC people deny it, but Ontario fishing is the best. So you're in BC right now. Your name lies to us. The fishing is fantastic. So many small freshwater lakes up here, all stocked with fish, loaded, tons of fish. Because there's not many people up here, the fishing is fantastic. The bugs are bad, but you know, we can mostly ignore that. And Darren Chandler, welcome back to the chat. Darren, how are you doing? Hope you're doing well. I hope you had a good day. Hope you had a good night wherever you are. And Ontario says, yeah, I'm on Vancouver Island now. It's also lovely there. I mean, I haven't been. I was going to go. I was going to go to Vancouver. I had plane tickets booked. I was going to go travel down there. And then I ended up having some health issues. And like 3 days before my plane flight, I ended up having to get an emergency surgery. This was last year. And literally while I was like in the prep room before the operation, I had to call the airlines and cancel my flight so I could at least get a refund. Yeah, it was pretty awful. I was trying to do some Googling down there, trying to figure out how, sorry, I thought I had a fish there. I was trying to figure out how I could do like the post-operation prep if I were to still fly. And my surgeon was telling me, like, listen, after the surgery, you're not going to want to go on a plane. But I was like, I'll figure it out. Then I realized different provinces, your healthcare is not covered. And so I was going to have to pay out of pocket for any treatment. And, you know, I still ran the risk if I had complications. And so, yeah, we ended up skipping out on Vancouver. But we will get there. We will get there. What do I got going on here? It's tricky. I need to adjust. I haven't fished for a few days and the weeds are starting to pop up. So where I'm normally used to casting, I'm hitting some of those surface weeds. We're just using a fake bait right now. Just one of these swim baits here. Gary, welcome back, Gary. How you doing? And Warp says, ooh, where is this? It is pitch black where I am. It is northern Canada. We are in the far north where the sun has not set yet. We probably have about another hour of sunlight. And Jay says, I'm glad you recovered. Thank you. And Eric the Great says, I don't believe in healthcare. I think a lot of us are a little more hesitant. There's a lot of good that's done. I mean, I can't argue too much. I've had some successful surgeries and operations in the past, but I think you gotta be a little bit more advocative for yourself, and you gotta pay attention to what's going on. It's not all bad. Oh, fish on. Okay, we're gonna try. I don't know. I'm gonna try to make sure I got that hook set. But now here's the problem. I got a fish on right now. Let's try to spin you guys this way. But I've got a Rapala stuck in my fishing net. So we'll see how big this is and decide if we need the net or not. Let's try to get you guys down to the water so you can kind of see once we pull this big. It feels good. Feels like a pike. It is, what are you? You look like a walleye. It's a good sized walleye. Okay, we might lose this because I'm just gonna try to yeet it. And it is a walleye. Do I grab the net or do I? Oh, you swallowed it. We can just pull you up. Yoink. There we go, guys. Let's go. Let's go. We got one. We got a healthy looking walleye here, except he freaking swallowed the hook. That is going to be tricky to get out because if you look at the walleye, they got all these teeth. And the hook is in there. I don't know if I have my pliers down here. You gonna bite me, buddy? You're definitely gonna bite me. Well, you didn't. It doesn't look like it's stuck that hard in its gills, so let's try to get the lure loose. And that's a good healthy looking pickerel. We're gonna measure it up in a second. Don't freaking. He's gonna get me. I'm gonna eat you, so I don't have to worry too much. But I want to try to get this hook out without my pliers. So yeah, there you go, guys. RB fish in these waters. There we go. I did not lose a finger. Okay, let's measure him up and see how big he is, because there are rules here that you have to watch the size. So let's we're gonna measure him up quick. Oh, he's not too big. He's not too big. He is a healthy 16 1/4. So there we go. He's frisky right now. I know I saw a stringer up at the house, and I don't know if I have a stringer down here right now. Let's take old Jolly here for a walk. Now's the chance to, we're gonna go see, we can take a look at the ducks while we're going up this way. We're taking this little fishy for a walk. That's called supper right there. We're gonna get more. So don't you guys worry if you're just joining now. You guys, some of you might have missed a little bit of the action, but we got the fish. We're gonna get more. They're in there, but I need my stringer. I was not prepared to actually catch anything. Terrible. Terrible, terrible, terrible. I want to hear it here in the chat, guys. While we're up here, do we want to go take a look at the ducklings, the baby ducks? They're about mid-sized right now. Do we want to go see the ducks, or do we want to just keep fishing? Give you guys a chance to comment and let me know. I'm just grabbing the stringer. Do you have to constantly cut grass? I like to keep it short because it keeps the ticks away. But I've got goats and I've got cows, so they do a good job at keeping the grass cut as well. Okay, we got a stringer. We're already here. My wife is milking a goat. How's it going, hon? I got one walleye. Do you want me to come over there or no? Yeah.
Just me. He's a bit bigger.
Okay, I'm gonna spin this around.
I'm actually all done.
Oh, she just finished.
Sorry.
Milking a goat. Here's a thing of fresh goat milk.
Yeah, Evie. Evie was jumping all over me, so I'm all muddy. Nice.
Okay.
Oh,
Okay.
that's a good sized fish. Just
Yeah.
casually holding a fish.
Yeah, he's starting to fight me. So let's go take a quick look at the ducks. Hi, Lily.
Make sure to tell them that the ducks hopefully will be going in their bigger setup this weekend.
Yes. Okay. Rip. And we got Abby in the chat, and we got Freshly Wild joining the chat. We got the whole party here. How you guys doing? We caught ourselves a walleye. I had to come up to the house to grab the stringer. But I figure while we're here, let's show you guys our little... They are freaking big, man. They grow so fast every day. Okay, so they're starting to outgrow their brooder here. So this weekend I'll get them into the duck house. But here they are. They're getting so big. Hello, guys. There you guys go. So the darker ones are the Appleyards and the lighter ones are the Buff Orpingtons. Yes. Do I got that right? Yeah. And then we also have 41 Ancona duck eggs on their way.
Justin, darling, could you open the door, please? The goat followed you in instead of me.
Sure. We have ourselves a visitor.
Beep, beep, beep. Excuse me. Come on, Mimi.
Out you go.
Oh.
Out you go.
There. Okay. Thank you.
Goodbye.
Yeah, and then we have the Ancona duckies. By the way, the should be here tomorrow, so watch for them. If they're not here tomorrow, they'll be here Friday.
Yes. Okay, so there's a fish.
Light.
Light. You want me to close this door? Okay, so the reason that the ducks are in the brooder is because they just got rid of their, what would you call that? Would that be their down? Or they still have down, their down feathers just came in.
Their final plumage is not fully in yet.
Okay, so their final plumage is just starting to come in. So once that's in, they no longer need the heat lamp, and then they can move into the log cabin right there. So that's the goal, that's the plan. And okay, sorry guys, I was a little distracted during that. I missed some of the chat. We're gonna catch up as soon as we get back to the dock. But I see Peggy's asking, how much for a duck? So I think I just paid, well, I paid $100, $130 for 41 Ancona duck eggs. It's like $7 per duck egg for an Ancona duck. But they're a specialty breed. These ones I think is closer to they're about a buck a fertilized egg, and then we hatch them ourselves and raise them up. So yeah, I think if you want to buy already hatched ones, you're looking at about $5 a chick, something like that. Up here, I'm in the far north in Canada, so everything's a little bit more expensive than in other closer centers. But yeah. Let me get set up. Let's get this fish on a stringer instead of in my hand. And then we'll keep fishing. Okay, so we got this guy. We got our stringer. Our stringer's starting to get chewed up. I have like 5 stringers and they're in the garage. I got to go find them. But for now, this will do. Okay, there we go. I'm going to catch up with the chat in a second, guys. Sorry. Okay, there we go. We got our first fish of the night. Nice, healthy walleye. We're gonna tie him up to the side here. Now we'll drop him in over, yeah, right here. Now drop them in over here so I can tie it to the door. Okay, let me just tie this up. Put a little slip knot. Okay, there we go. There we go. We're back. We're back. We're back. Sorry, guys. So that's one fish for the night. Let's see what we can do otherwise. And while I'm cast and retrieving, I will read and catch up on the chat. I'm sorry I'm a little bit behind. Stay with me because I want to answer your questions. So, I'm going to scroll a little bit to see where we are. Sticky says, you should get Bingo live. You can see us and our faces and you can talk to us, but you don't have to join the video part. You can do the audio only. You know what I'm trying to set up right now? I'm trying to set up a Patreon, and I'm trying to set up a free Patreon. So I haven't had time to look at it. It was silly. I made a Patreon account, and immediately after making the account and getting the profile set up, they banned me for suspicious activity. And it took like a week for me to get them to unban the account. There was nothing suspicious other than it was a new account. But ideally, if I can set up like a free Patreon, they have group chats and stuff like that where we can, outside of just the YouTube videos, we can have one-on-one interactions. I think that might have just been weeds. Okay, let me keep scrolling and answering questions. Do you have to constantly cut the grass? We already answered that one. I'm just catching up, blah, 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 blah. You're gonna need a bigger cage or let them free roam soon. Yeah, so the ducks, like I said, they were in that brooder because they needed the heat lamp, they needed the tight, safe space. But now that they're to that size, come this weekend, I'll get them into the log cabin. So that'll be this weekend. Do you raise ducks for harvest? Yeah, so the male ducks, we'll keep one or two of them for breeding purposes, but otherwise we'll butcher the males and then we keep the females for eggs. They're a great supply of eggs. We've done ducks, we did ducks last year. We did 23 ducks and we ended up with only 5 layers. So we butchered all the males, kept the 5 layers, but unfortunately at the very end of winter, a fox ended up getting in and took them out. It was very unfortunate, very sad. And Fresh Wild says, don't ducks prefer to be near a body of water? Do you let them swim? I set up a swimming pool for them and I let them swim up the fields. But if I let them out in the lake, the fish here, like the northern pikes and the muskellunge and the eagles and the hawks will go after them. So they're safer up in my fields than they are down in the lake. So yeah, I don't really like letting them actually in the lake. I had a couple of Muscovies that would come down to the lake, but they were destined for the freezer. They were boys anyway. And then come hunting season, I needed to get them off the lake so that nobody else would come harvest them. Not that there's many people here, but it could happen. It was a real risk. So, you know, I didn't need people hunting my farm duck. We're in northern Canada. If you aren't recording, have you ever found yourself trying to hold a camera that isn't there? No, I'm not that crazy yet. That hasn't happened yet. Stank Nasty says he does Fortnite dance. No, I don't. Freshly Wild's asking if they're pine trees. Yeah, we've got some balsam, some pine. There's birch and poplar. On the south side of the field, there's cedar, lots of cedar. There's a couple white pines. Are your neighbors close by, Darren asks. My closest neighbors are about 3 miles away. So we're pretty isolated up here. Peggy's asking, where do you live? The far north in Canada. Sorry, as I cast, I'm trying to catch up with you guys. Oh, I think I'm not up. That's good. Ernie says, are you on a chain of lakes? How far can you go by boat? I think I'm on some weeds. So my lake is connected to a couple other lakes. Actually, what I do is I launch the pontoon boat right here. I launch it in a lake and drive it to my house. It's a lot easier than trying to get it down my bush roads and stuff to here. So I got to launch in one lake, go through a couple river connections, and then get out to my house. It takes me just about an hour and a half from the closest kind of spot I can launch the boat to get to my house. like I said, we're pretty tucked in the middle of nowhere here, so it's kind of hard to get here. The landing I got behind me is just really, really steep, like this kind of launch. It's good enough for getting like the dock in and out, but it's not good enough for getting the pontoon down. I feel like I'll pull my truck right into the lake. It's a little steep. And Freshly Wild says, we catch enough fish, we may get a good old yeehaw from Justin. Yeehaw! We've got one. We've got one. You get one yeehaw. And Jay says, that was a nice fish. And Sticky Heel says, what app are you getting? It's called Patreon. So I do believe there is a Patreon app. It's more web-based, but it allows for creators and users to chat. It's typically used to, get sponsors and get people donating, but I'm pretty sure if there is a way, I'm going to try it, that I can create like a free group chat on there so that it doesn't have to be for paying members. It can just be for everyone. So that's kind of my plan, but I haven't had enough time to do much homework on it because as soon as I was setting it up, they blocked me and suspended it for a week until I was able to appeal it that I wasn't a robot. I am real. Have you, I have not, I don't want to say it out loud in case it means something inappropriate if it was said backwards or something, but no, I have not heard of Surah. And Paul says, do you ever harvest chaga from your birch trees? Yes. What I do is I have an app that I have some tracking abilities on. It allows me to GPS while I'm walking in the bush and I can take pictures and save them. So I have a few of the trees with chaga on it that I save. I like to harvest chaga in the late fall, early winter, once it gets below zero. And so I have a few trees that I found chaga on that I have pictures of in GPS location. That way I can go back and harvest them later. What is your favorite mushroom? Mine is lobster mushroom. We definitely have a lot of lobster mushroom on the property. My favorite is probably chanterelles. Chanterelles are just fantastic. We have a lot of Amanita muscaria. That is a psychedelic mushroom. I don't participate. I don't use any psychedelics or anything, but I think they're a fascinating mushroom and they grow right on the property. And Michelle says, I think Discord would be free. Patreon would cost a few bucks minimum. Yeah, I got to look more into Patreon because I think there is like a free tier that they allow, but I got to look into that. I've thought about Discord, but I'm a dinosaur. Discord seems so complicated. I've tried to use Discord before, but it just seems so complex. Maybe that's just me. Maybe I got to do some homework on that. John says, after your day from having to keep up with everything, what's your favorite way to unwind? This right here is pretty dang nice. I mean, just the homestead itself, doing the homestead chores and everything is really nice. Going hanging out with the pigs, giving them their food, giving them water, coming out here catching fish. It's fantastic. Just being out on the property is unwinding in its own right. Maya and Bailey says, what's up? Hopefully you remember me. I am so sorry, Maya. I don't particularly remember you, but I am glad you were here. Let's have a conversation that's memorable, and I will remember you next time. And A says, it's not inappropriate. You seem like a person who would enjoy listening to it. Well, I will have to go back and check that out. What's your favorite fish to eat? It's hard to complain about all the fish we have here, but walleye is super tasty. That's the one we caught there. They're really good. Northern pike I like because the yield. You get a lot of meat off of a good sized northern pike. So yeah, I mean, it all tastes good. I like to, there's my two main ways of cooking fish, freshwater fish. Okay, trout are their own thing, trout and salmon. But if we're talking walleye, pike, bass, perch, oh, come on, you bugger. I want to catch you. Is that a weed or a fish? Might have just been a weed. It's not pulling back. Yeah, it wasn't a weed, but it didn't bite. Oh, maybe it was. It didn't bite hard. So I like to cook them. So if I want to just do a quick pan fry, a little bit of lemon, a little bit of salt and pepper, maybe a little bit of like Italian herb seasoning, just fry it up in some butter until it's flaky and golden brown. You can't go wrong. Another really good way is I like to dip the fish in some eggs, then flour, back in the eggs, then into your breadcrumbs. Those can be panko breadcrumbs. Those can be Italian seasoning. your own homemade mix. I've dried out bread and, you know, broken it up kind of like croutons. Fry it, that one I fry up in some oil till it's golden brown. Really good. If I'm doing trout, I cook it bone in. Let me catch up with you guys. Peggy's asking, how do you go live video? So in order to go live on YouTube, you have to have an existing account that has some content already published. So you have to prove basically that you're not a bot. You're very throttled at first. You're very limited on how many people can see because they need to make sure you're not going to do anything inappropriate. So it takes a while to build an audience. It takes a while to get things going. The first time you go live, they do not allow impulses. So the first time you go live on YouTube, it makes you wait 24 hours because they don't want you to do anything impulsive for the first time. So yeah, it's just have the YouTube app, click the plus button and click go live. Once you've met those other criteria, you also, I think you have to have your account verified to go live. Where's the closest town and where do you get groceries? Closest town is about an hour away, and there is a grocery store there. I do all my own meat off the homestead, and we do some of our own harvesting, but right now we haven't done a massive garden. We've kind of been focusing on animals and infrastructure. I'm thinking next year I'll go hard on gardening. So next year we will go very hard. We'll do a ton of canning once we harvest, and then hopefully we'll become very self-sufficient for the most part. Any thoughts on Florida hockey dominating? Oh, come on, set it. Yeah, there we go, guys. We got another one. Ooh, we got a perch. We got ourselves, oh no, I lost it. I lost it, guys. Let's just jig for a second. I was too focused on the camera angle and I lost it. It was a little baby perch. Well, I call them babies. They're not. Perch are smaller fish by default. It wasn't a baby, but it was a perch. But he's not coming back. We're going to keep fishing. Perch are really good eating as well. They're very buttery. They taste good. But I freaking missed that one. That's so upsetting. I have a Rapala stuck in my net right now. I have like 4 nets in the garage. I just have to go up and get one. But so I'm not using the net. I'm just trying to yeet them onto the shore here. But I didn't set the hook good. He let go. Okay, let me scroll down, make sure I'm caught up with you. Jay says, I like your cowboy hat. Thank you, Jace. I appreciate that. Helps keep the sun off, the back of the neck and ears and stuff. I heard you need 50 subscribers to go live. I don't think there's a minimum rule. I don't think there's a minimum to go live. I don't know. I didn't start going live until I was at about 350. So, yeah, I'm not sure if there is a hard set rule on minimum, but I do know you have to have some videos, some content already published out there so that they can get a feel for who you are, what you are, and make sure you're legit, not just a bot. What time is it there? We are at 9:12 p.m., Spicy. We are at 9:12 p.m. Yeah, that sucks that I lost that one, but it is what it is. Late Mary says, happy Juneteenth. Is that what day it is today? Is it the 19th? Dennis says, you should bait the water, throw in some chum, crumbs, and cast a net. So up here, even though I am in the middle of nowhere and there's no one up here, there are a lot of fishing rules. Where I live up here in northern Canada, you cannot bait like that. You can't net. You're not allowed to net fish. You have to catch them with a lure, with a hook. You can't net them. You can't spear them. You can't, you can't set out multiple lines. You're only allowed one line. So there's a lot of rules you got to follow up here. If you don't follow them, they'll pretty well come and take your boat, your truck. It's not a good situation. So you just follow the rules. And Darren says, Sticky says, can try bingo live. It's super easy. I will look into it. Darren says, I have a YouTube channel and I still can't go live. I have content and video and still can't go live, but I only have 11 subscribers. Darren, if you look at their frequently asked questions, it's going to give you some tips on that. I'm not sure. Like I said, I didn't think there was a minimum subscriber count to go live. I do know they throttle you. They don't let you see, I think the way it works is it's like your subscriber count plus 15 is the maximum amount of concurrent people they allow at once, something like that. Albeit I've never had 1,000 concurrent people on here, so I don't know how fair that is. But yeah, if you look into it, I'm sure there'll be some tips to help you out there. Might just be that you need a few more videos, a few more shorts, a few long forms just to get yourself kind of verified. And Michael says, that law is some BS. And Spicy says, my real name is Case. Well, hello, Case. How are you doing tonight? And Freshly Wild says, Bob Ross would nail that background. So pretty. It is lovely back here. I mean, it's kind of a better view over there, but it's hard to read the chat that way. How many walleye can you take per day? We're allowed 4. We're allowed 4 walleye, and only one of them over 21 inches. The rest have to be below 18 inches. 18.2, I think, up here. That's a fish, but you gonna bite? Maybe it's just weeds. Felt like a fish, but it's not. Yeah, just weeds. Boo. We caught some salad. Let's take one more look at the walleye we did catch so that we don't feel bad about ourselves for missing that other fish, and so that anyone who's just joining can see that we are actually catching fish. They're real. They do exist. We got this guy here doing his thing, having a little spin ski. So we got one there. We're gonna catch more. We're gonna catch another one. We missed a perch. We had a perch. It was right at the surface. Caught it right at the end of the dock, but I didn't set the hook quite well enough, and we lost him. I'm also using a fairly big lure for a perch. It's not exactly targeted for perch. I can catch them with this, but a little hard for them to swallow. And Sticky says, I'm bored. Sorry, Sticky. Does that mean that fishing is not your favorite pastime activity to hang out with? I apologize, but the ducks are cute. Ducks were cute. What does BS mean? It means bull roar, baloney, no good, no bueno. That's some BS. And Bob Ross invented that background. We need to catch a shark now. My son caught a 36-inch pike. 36 inches, massive, you know, big, this big around, like head, massive. He caught it about 2 weeks ago. So there are some monsters in here. There's some muskellunge in here, and those things get like 6 feet long. So I don't know if I'll catch them with this rod, but I'll try. If one bites on, I'll try to catch it. Yes, Sticky, you got it. I can't say that on stream, but you got it. Daniel says, Amira. How you doing, Daniel? Yes, 2.5 feet. There's some big, we've got some 5-6 feet fish in here. There's some big fish in here. And Jay says, I call it bull shrimp. That's a good way to say it. That's kid friendly. I like it. That's some bull shrimp. So hopefully we don't miss another one. I want to catch one more before the bugs start to carry me away. As the sun is setting, the bugs are going to get more and more aggressive. Walleye, the fish we just got there, walleye are actually technically nocturnal. They're awake at night and they sleep during the day. So they're more active at night. So you actually have a higher chance of catching them as the sun goes down. So we'll see if that's true for us. We'll see if we get ourselves another one here. Just some weeds there. These are some very convincing weeds. These weeds feel like the odd bite, but I know it's not. It's not aggressive enough for a bite. Bear with me 1 second. Send that to the stratosphere. Okay. Funny and Insightful says, hey, I remember you guys, the North Canadian homesteaders whose wife wants to have more kids, but you're scratching your head. You got it. Welcome back to the chat, Funny. How you doing? I hope you're having a good night. You know what the thing is for me? It's not that I'm opposed to having more kids. We live like a fairly sustenance lifestyle that we can support having as many kids as, you know, God wants us to have. The problem I have, if you want to call it a problem, is we've got 5 boys, 5 sons, but on child 3 and 4, my wife had a lot of complications after the birth. She had an iron infusion afterwards, kind of thing, to get her iron levels back up. She had blood clotting in her legs. Still suffered with that this 5th child, but was able to stay on top of medication to mitigate symptoms. But she was dealing with like micro strokes and from having those blood clots pass to her brain. Like, it was nasty. It was really bad. So child 3 and 4 made me kind of nervous. Child 5 went pretty good. That's why she's like, oh, we could have 6. But I'm like, I remember child 3 and 4 almost killed her. So for me, it's still close to home. Yeah, that's why that. And Sticky Kid says, can you look at Bingo Live on live? I don't think I can. Well, maybe I could screen share and do that, but I don't like leaving the live window because I don't want to accidentally show anything personal. Like my phone background is a picture of my kids, and I like to keep my kids off of YouTube for their privacy. And so I just don't want that stuff leaking out there. So for now, I'm not going to look into it, but I could look into it later. And Jay says, Sticky, it's fine. Let the man fish. And Funny Insightful says, oh yeah, we don't need to get into that. Just a way for me to remember you guys. There's something that's unique for everybody to remember. That's how I remember stuff about people. Well, you have a very good memory. That was very good. Oh, what do we got here? Look at this. Is that just a goose? That might just be a goose, but it's still cool. It's flying right into us. There we go. Just a big old Canadian goose. Just a goose coming to say hi, checking us out. They are actually edible. You can hunt them in the fall, and they taste delicious. They're actually red meat. They're very good. Yeah, kind of cool. He's just swimming around out here. Oh, no, that's our fish. Oh, 2 more. Oh, that's a trumpeter swan. Ah, there's a trumpeter swan and a goose right there. So that's a swan and a goose. Or is that a pelican? I can't tell. The big birds are coming out now. We got the big birds coming to say hi. I don't know if that one was a trumpeter swan or a pelican because I only saw it from the back. That was cool. Anyway, let me throw this out there. How you doing, Chloe? We've got 1 walleye so far. We've caught 1 walleye. And Sticky says, I don't mean any harm. I just really want to meet him face to face on Bingo Live. I didn't do anything wrong. Nobody's mad at you, Sticky. Don't worry. Don't worry. I just, it's something I'll have to check out later because especially down here by the water, I'm not actually on my Starlink. We're off of cellular, so I can't go downloading apps and checking out different web browsers and stuff. I'm burning enough data just live streaming with you guys. Yes, we have a nice review back here, Chloe. It's beautiful, but we've got, oh, trumpeter swan. It is a trumpeter swan, not a pelican. There we are. The trumpeter swans have joined the chat. I don't know where the goose is. I think he perched himself up on shore. And yes, it's a beautiful night. Jay says, no, I'm not. Yeah, right. Now, friends. We're all friends in the chat. We don't need to bicker. All Jace is saying is it's hard to leave the chat and try to multitask. But I promise you, I will check out Bingo Live later and see what that's all about. Ernie says, oh, a fish jumped out that way. Ernie says, do you have loons out your way? Yes. Not right now. I don't see any loons out here. They usually come closer to the midsummer. But you hear them all night, letting out their call all night. They're really beautiful birds. None out here right now. I haven't heard any for the spring. They usually don't come out till the summer. Yeah, I've got some good slow-mo videos of getting up close to some loons, a pair of loons, but I just haven't done anything with it. I take so many videos, so much footage for potential long-form videos, form videos, just B-roll for background. But lately I do so many of the live streams that I just haven't had time to focus on like long form content as much. I still take tons of videos. Got some videos of some turtles that just hatched today on my south beach. On the south end of my property, I have a beach, and yeah, mama turtles were kind of hanging around, and there was some fresh baby turtles this big around that had just hatched. So I did get some short videos about that I'll have to go through, edit up, and I'll get that on here in the next day or two. And H8 says, "Are you Canadian? From where?" I am from the far north in Canada. We are in northern Canada. Peter, welcome back to the chat. Peter, how you doing, friend? How did your hand surgery go? Did you have your hand surgery? Did it go well? Peter says, "Hey guys, look who's finally had a time to fish. At least you made the time." We've got one. Only one. We missed one. We got one. But we got one. And how old are all the kids? My kids are all 2 years apart. 8, 6, 4, 2, and 0. They're all almost exactly 2 years apart. And H8 says east or west. I don't like getting too specific because the internet's a weird place, but you can think off-grid up towards Hudson's Bay. We'll just say up towards Hudson's Bay. So far north Ontario, where the fishing is fantastic, except tonight I've only caught one, so that's probably more a me fault than the fish fault. And Peter says, "What are you fishing for?" Well, we caught one walleye. So we got one walleye. I wouldn't mind if we got a pike. We missed a perch. We had one right at the boat, but we missed it. I'm not using a net right now. I'm trying to just yeet them in by hand, and I missed it. But they're here. There's crappie in here. Crappie are delicious. At this point, I'll take anything. Anything I can get. But yeah, walleye, crappie, perch, bass, muskellunge. All the good eating fish. Peter says, "No, haven't had my surgery yet. Going back July 15th or 16th. They only did 2 shots in the left hand, and now thinking it will work. It hasn't all. Keep the prayers coming." It hasn't at all. So it hasn't at all, as in the shots haven't helped. You're still feeling discomfort in the hand. H8 says, "Do you love living that way? And what do you do for income?" So I run a logistics company. I have a pretty fair sized company that I run. And so that's where I earn my income. My wife stays at home with the kids, homeschooled mother. This way of life, especially getting started, can be very expensive. I'm constantly, especially up here in the far north, I'm constantly having to buy lumber for different projects, and the food is very expensive up here. We're reducing that with all of our milk comes from our goats, our eggs from chickens and ducks. The milk is also used to create yogurt and cheese, butter. So we're able to reduce our bills that way. We raise our own cattle, so we get beef. I've got 4 pigs in the forest behind us, so that's our pork. So we're able to reduce our food costs, but living up here in the middle of nowhere is still expensive. There was an awesome show on Netflix, and it was like a competition where there was this old couple living remote off-grid in Alaska, and they were wanting to move in. They were old, so they were kind of done with that lifestyle, looking to get into like assisted living homes. And so there was like a game show competition where there's a bunch of contestants competing to prove their worth, and the couple would choose at the end which other couple would inherit their off-grid Alaskan homestead. And at the end of the show, spoiler alert, it comes down to like a young 20-year-old couple, like 2 20-year-olds, and an older like 55-year-old man and his partner. And you would think that they were going to give it to the young couple, but they actually gave it to the older man and his wife. And the reasoning is it is very expensive and hard to live remotely in the middle of nowhere. You need to have kind of your life already ahead of you, resources already planned, money in the bank, assets, things to fall back on. you know, when you're having to fly food up and supplies up and fuel and you know, when stuff breaks, you got to get it fixed. If you're young and 20 and you got no income, no anything behind you, it's really hard to take care of yourself. So at first I was a little perturbed when they gave it to the older couple, because I'm like, come on, that's definitely something the younger couple should have got. That's when I lived in town. Now that I live out here, I totally understand their reasoning. It's hard work. It's a lot of fun. It's very satisfying. I mean, how can I tell you guys it's hard work while I'm sitting here fishing off my dock? But you know what I mean. You're always doing something. You're always busy, but it's satisfying. It's gratifying. It's very rewarding. Just a Dude joins the chat. How are you doing, Just a Dude? Funny Insightful says, plus you are far away from concrete jungle. Better odds when there's a situation like Walking Dead. So not so fun conversation. I asked ChatGPT today, I said, based on current world events, on a scale of 1 to 10, how close are we to nuclear war? It said 7. It said, based on what's going on in Iran, they're putting it at a 7 out of 10. That's pretty high. That's pretty dang high. I don't like those odds. I mean, I like it up here. If there's a bomb that goes off, it's not going to affect me directly other than the whole world shutting down. But yeah. Peter says, do you know the Canada song? Can you sing it? This I need to hear sing away. Like, oh, Canada, our home and native land. That one? You talking about Oh, Canada? That is our anthem. That is our song. And Just a Dude, being the optimist where I'm being a pessimist, he says, nah, the world ain't gonna end. I don't think so anyway. And Sticky Heels saying, I'm eating hot chocolate. Yummy. Nice. I'm gonna give it another 5 minutes of fishing here. We're down to like 8% battery. I didn't charge my phone before this, but I still got to clean up that fish. So let's give it about 5 more minutes here. Hopefully I catch one more. Otherwise, we'll clean up this one and put her in the fridge for breakfast. And Sticky thinks the sun is going to explode. And Jay says, y'all making me hungry. A little bit of hot chocolate or tea would be nice right about now. Now that the sun's going down, it's starting to cool off. Even up here in Canada in the summer, it still gets cold at night. It feels like it's probably about 15 Celsius. So like 64 degrees Fahrenheit-ish. Somewhere in there. It's like 60. So it's starting to get cold. I can feel it. And Peter says, that's the one. Oh, Canada. Betcha the wife can sing the whole thing. My wife used to be the person singing at hockey games. She used to be the one who goes out there, gets the microphone, and would sing at the hockey games. My wife's the singer. I'm just the pretender. And Just a Dude says, playing some Resident Evil remake. Almost finished with it. Yeah, I mean, those are some pretty scary games. I haven't played them. I remember being a kid dabbling with it, or I think I saw one of the Resident Evil movies. But yeah, that's basically what? Man-made zombies? Is that what it is? Mutations done from an evil scientist lab? So I got that right? And Sticky says, I'm the only one who puts their account to 17 degrees and still sweats. Or their air conditioning to 17 degrees and still sweats. I like running hot. I'm, you know, my Italian heritage likes it when it's 25, 26 out. I like when it's nice and toasty. Peter says, do you ever play hockey? I don't play often anymore. I'll play with the boys, but I have a bad back. I destroyed my disc between my L4, L5 when I was about 21 playing hockey. And so it's not as enjoyable for me now. I have played in some beer leagues, some old timers leagues. A couple years ago, I was assistant captain on my hockey team. But I haven't played in a few years, not actually played. It's been about 3 years. I think about 3 years ago, I played one season, 52 games. But life is busy. Now that I have the Homestead, trying to, you know, do an organized hockey league is just too much work. Got some weeds. And Just the Dude says, yeah, zombies and monsters made by a virus. Sometimes there are parasites involved. I don't have time to play many video games, but back in the day, my jam was Halo 3 specifically. Halo 2 and then Halo 3. I put hundreds of hours, if not thousands of hours. CSGO, Counter-Strike, Global Offensive. I played a lot of that when I was in university. And favorite Mad Max movie? I haven't seen all the Mad Maxes. I've seen the more modern one, the first one. I haven't seen the second one. They're pretty outrageous. Yeah. The Mad Max movies are pretty hardcore, but ever since I moved out here, I don't have a lot of time for movies and TV. Jay said, I joined like an hour and a half ago and I'm still amazed by that view. Jace, you are a legend. Thank you. Everyone who's been sticking around, thank you. I appreciate you guys. And Gustavo says, hi from Brazil. And Jay says, have you ever played Ratchet and Clank? I was an Xbox guy. I believe Ratchet and Clank was PlayStation. I did end up eventually getting a PlayStation 4, because I wanted The Last of Us, which was a fantastic game. I haven't watched the show, but I played the game and it was fantastic, the first one. But never played Ratchet and Clank. Not actually. Maybe at like a friend's house here and there, but never actually. Sticky Heels says, I am sweating because it's 10 degrees, but I'm still sweating. I'm going to go to the dock tonight because of me sweating at 10 degrees. Do you live on a lake, Sticky, or are you doing like a summer camping? Do you live on a lake as well? Or when you say dock, do you mean like a pool? There's some mist out on the water, some fog. I'll see if I can get it on focus. See that cloud over there? Some mist, some fog. As it's cooling down, we're getting some fog out on the surface. It's pretty. And Just the Dude says, The Last of Us show is not for me. Game was awesome though. Yeah, I didn't play the second one. I played the first one, but that was some fantastic storytelling. The first game was really good. I mean, I did notice as far as gameplay goes, you were definitely railroaded, but the story was so good you didn't mind that you were playing through a very enjoyable long movie. Like I said, haven't watched the show, but the game was very good. And Sticky says, I was the first person. So I was here way longer than most of y'all. No offense. Sticky, you've been here the whole time. You were the first person. I appreciate you too. Jay says, I was a Halo guy too. I finished Halo 5, I think. And Funny and Insightful says, that's not mist. That's the spirit of someone disappointed. Frozen spirit. Someone disappointed that I haven't caught more than one fish? Probably. The ghosts of the lake are looking at me like, bro, there's so many fish in here. What are you doing? Jay says, do you play Call of Duty? I used to play Call of Duty. Like I said, we moved out here almost 2 years ago. I guess a year and a half ago, 2 years come October. And when I moved off grid here, I got rid of everything. I don't have a TV. I don't have a PlayStation. I don't have a computer. I have my iPhone, but I got rid of everything. And so don't play any video games. Don't watch any TV really. Yeah, we kind of went all in when we went off grid. What time did you start? We started 74 minutes ago. So Sticky, you have gained us 74 minutes of watch time, and I appreciate you. Right now our YouTube channel, we're not monetized. We are close, but we need the watch hours. So every minute you guys stick around with us is helping greatly. So I appreciate you all. We are over the 1,000 subscribers, but we're just shy of 3,000 hours in 1 year. We have gone over 3,000 hours, but it's been a 2-year journey. So the stuff from last year does not count towards monetization. We're sitting at about 2,300 hours. We only need 3,000 to get into the program. So we're very close, but we're not quite there yet. So I figure about, I don't know, another 10 live streams or so, and we should be there. if we have some more larger live streams like we've been having. But yeah, I never expect these weekdays to be too bumping, these weekday evening live streams. It's more the weekends. Unfortunately, this past weekend, I was very busy working on projects around the house, and I was doing a lot of work in my loader, leveling the yard and laying soil and planting grass, and just too hard to live stream while you're doing that kind of stuff when you're in machines in and out. I just, projects that needed to get done that I couldn't bring you guys with me for. And Jay says, I'm about to finish Call of Duty Cold War. Nice. When I played the Call of Duty games, I never played the story. It was just the online. Just a Dude says, I do kind of envy that, but I'd still want to play games from time to time, especially if you guys get those long periods of darkness. I mean, our winters can be nasty, but you read books, you hang out with each other, you socialize. The days, like our summers, are so long. The sun hasn't even set yet. We're almost 10 p.m. Do you or the kids use a TV to go to sleep? Because I can't if I don't have a TV. No. Technically, it's kind of the opposite. If you train yourself to avoid the screens before bed, you're probably going to have a better, deeper sleep. The blue light coming off the screens and the hyperstimulation on your brain kind of do keep you awake to some extent. I think we live in a world where there's so much screen interaction and scrolling and watching things that I think maybe some people do need to overstimulate their brain to sleep just because it's used to going so much, but it's probably not the best for you. You're probably better off reading a book before bed. I used to do that as a kid. I'd read a book and I would fall asleep and the book would hit me in the face and that would wake me back up and I'd try to read another page and you'd feel how heavy your eyes are and you'd then just go to sleep. My oldest son does that. He reads books before bed. So he'll stay up. He'll go to bed around 7:30, but he'll usually stay up at least an hour reading books. But I don't try to stop him. It's good for his brain. It's good for his reading and comprehension. And I handpick the books so that they're all appropriate. Just a Dude says, World at War was dope. And Funny Insightful says, do you ever wonder the thousands of people who lived, loved, and laid to rest in the past in the same place you currently live? There's lots of stories on those lakes. Sorry, those weeds were convincing that time. I thought that was a fish, but it wasn't. I have thought about that because I have this special type of flower. It's called the ghost pipe or the Indian pipe. And there's a mythology around it. It's a very rare flower. It grows white. It doesn't use photosynthesis. The way it gets its nutrients is almost more like a mushroom. It relies on the mycelium layer from russula mushrooms and the root system from pine trees, and it gets its nutrients from that. We're in northern Canada, Mr. Gix. We are in northern Canada. But this ghost pipe flower requires very special circumstances. You can't just grow it in a garden. It's not going to grow. There is some mythos around it that it grows in areas where there have been battles, where there's been tragedy. Which if you think a flower that is tied to the mycelium, maybe it requires the nutrients from humans. And so maybe people have died on this property. There's a lot of these flowers growing out here. And the world is a long and ancient place. And so it is definitely possible. There might be some truth to the legend. We are going to give up now. It's been our 5 minutes. It's been more over 5 minutes. We have one fish. Peter, yes, I'm gonna pull it up. We're gonna bring it inside and we're gonna clean it up. We're gonna eat it for breakfast. Let's put the fishing rod down, close that up. Let's grab the fish. We got one walleye here. It's not much, but it's an appetizer. There used to be a time, here it is here. There used to be a time where if I caught one fish like this, I would just like not bother filleting it up and eating it because I'd be like, it's just one, I'll throw it back. It's not worth my hassle. It's not a full meal. But now that I live a more sustenance lifestyle where we're raising our own, our own meat on the homestead, we're getting our own milk, our own eggs. It's like, bro, this is a free meal. and it would feel wasteful. You know, in the past it'd be like, oh, it feels wasteful to just keep one fish. Now I'm like, it feels wasteful to throw one fish back in the water. And you got to work so hard for all your other meals, and then you can just get one fishing, enjoying yourself. It's like, I got to eat that. So let's take our stringer out of his mouth. Oh, the mosquitoes are coming out in force. They're eating us alive now. So now's a good time to get ourselves into the house. And we'll fillet this up. I'll show you guys a thing or two for those who don't know how to fillet fish. Yeah. So we're gonna bring this guy inside. We're gonna clean him up. I gotta get you guys on a charger. And I gotta come back out afterwards because I gotta put the pig food away properly. I left the lid off. If it rains, I'll ruin the food. I don't want to ruin, you know, $800 worth of pig feed. So bear with me. Once we get to the house, I'll read the chat. But we're gonna fillet this guy. I'll show you how it's done. Only takes a couple minutes when you get good at it. I have caught thousands of fish, thousands of walleye, literally thousands. I've been fishing my whole life. Tonight was only one, but so we're pretty quick at it. Let's get you guys inside the house. Bear with me as we come up to the house here. Hi, I just want to fillet this one fish and then I'm done. Okay, 1 second, guys. Hi, honey. Do you have your strips in? Is that why you're not talking, or you just want to be on stream right now? Oh, you're doing laundry? Okay, 1 second. Okay. Bear with me, guys. So, when it comes to walleye, let's turn on some light. Let's grab our fillet knife and our cutting board.
You can put that anything away if you need to.
Okay. Okay, guys. So, this is a walleye. I'm going to show you guys how we fillet it. Let me catch up on the chat for a second before we fillet this. Mr. says, how do you pay your property taxes? I pay them online. And fish for breakfast, what do you eat with it? Eggs? I'm probably going to do French toast. I'll probably do French toast and some walleye. And get one of those bug zappers. They sure are nice. Devin says, can you cover your camera for a Jackson edit? I don't know what that is. Peter says, no fish, huh? Just the one. And Just a Dude says, got to take off. Good chat. Thanks for joining. Peter says, hi. Ernie says, enjoyed the fishing. Have a good night. Thanks, Peter. Or Ernie. And Peter says, do you burn your trash? No, I bring it to, I have burnt some, but I bring it to a landfill. I don't like putting the toxins, you know, into the air around the homestead. I'd rather let it go be someone else's problem at a landfill. And Sticky says, what do you mean, strips? In what's that? What? Jay says, beautiful house. Thank you. Okay, I'm going to show you guys. So I'm not going to show you how I unalive it, but first I like to unalive them before I cut into them. And so I'm just going to break his neck off camera. The other way you can do it is if you hit them above the head, behind the eyes, so right here, with a firm hit with like, you know, a back end of a hammer or something, a stick, a firm branch. But I like to break their necks. It's quick and you know, painless for them. So I'll just do that off screen. Okay, once you do that, they're now dead, they're paralyzed. That's the end of that. So now I don't feel any guilt or anything when I am butchering them. And Sticky says, I can't watch that, I'm a vegan. I'm sorry that,
Sticky's a vegan?
I'm sorry that I am having to butcher this. If you have to leave, you can leave. This will only take a minute. So after that, let's see if I can get a better angle for you guys. I'm gonna flip this way.